Today it is June 2nd, 6:39 to be exact, and today is the day I graduated high school 5 years ago. Okay, I'm gonna keep it a buck. I am not the guy for the job. You ever feel ill-prepared on a test day? That's how I feel right now. Like, I get what it takes to succeed, and I know I'm capable of doing it. It's just like there's some pre-work required, and I have not done said pre-work, so I'm not the guy for the job. Could I be the guy for the job? Am I capable? Well, I mean, actually, I don't know. But I know what it takes to be capable. So, it's not like it's a, you know, I don't know how to do it. It just, I don't know if I can do it right now, being the person I am. So, let's get this mile over with, okay? It's gonna be my worst one, I can already tell. Okay. I didn't do that bad, okay? So from the past few years, I've learned that it sucks to edit right here in this corner, the times like one by one. So these are the times, there we go. Those are the June 2nd mile times. And today, what do you know? Right back where we started, huh? 9:12. So it wasn't that bad. And I'm gonna get out of here because there is an event happening, which I will talk about. Here we go. What's that? Terrible lighting. Okay, I'm just gonna keep the camera here because I am currently at my high school, you know, the aforementioned one. Do you remember that one? And what do you know, these suckers, they're still in school. So this is weird. The parking lot has like a total of like 10 cars in it. It's usually empty. So I'm not gonna sit here and record. That's weird. And it's actually quite fitting to what I was gonna talk about, which is like, this feels weird. Like, it's always felt weird, but now it feels like weird in a creepy way, you know? Like, what the hell is this guy doing here, you know? So I'll address that, I guess, later. Also, I work now, so like I have a meeting in 15 minutes that I have to get to, you know? There are now 2 cars, one on each side of me. Oh, this feels so weird. It feels like I'm in a jig, you know? And the jig is up. But it's also weird, yeah, I can see, I was in band. That's probably like wildly self-evident by, you know, the way I am. But I was in band in high school. I see the band trailer right there. And I see the gate that I used to walk in every day when I used to come to high school. So, you know, blast from the past. Am I right? Yeah, no, but this feels weird. Usually I show the, you know, the football stadium, and I'm like, look, that's where they actually just graduated, but they haven't yet, so. Yeah, this feels weird. We'll catch up later. Does that sound good? Okay. You don't really have a choice. It's just what I'm gonna do. So, see you in a few. That's also the name of a minivan, right? Sienna, see in a few. Minivan, a few. How many people are watching this video? Just a few. Because who would? I don't know. Sup, gamers? It is now the next day. That run, you know, it took a lot out of me. So I took the rest of the day off. I'm just kidding. I did take a like really fat nap in the evening though. And it was one of those, you know, where you go to sleep when it's sunny out and you wake up and it's night and you're like, what the how did I get here? But now, yes, it's Friday morning, June 3rd. And I'm gonna go to work. That's right, I'm gonna pretend to be an adult for the next 8 hours. Which I heard once you turn 23, you're supposed to stop saying pretending because it's just like real. But I don't know, I'm not convinced, you know? But before I go in, I have 2 notes. The first one is, I saw this sign when I was driving in that said undulations ahead, meaning that there's a speed bump ahead. But I think it's funny that they use the word undulations, because by the time you like read that and then register what that means, you're already like fully hitting the speed bump. And then note number 2, I just listened to Post Malone's new album and it's good. I like Post, but the song I Like You with Doja Cat, that's a really good song. So I recommend it. It's good. Anyways, I will minivan few, Sienna few. you know, different day, different parking lot, it's still as bad as it was yesterday. So, not much has happened since you last saw me. I just completed, you know, my work day, my work on a Friday, and I did actually also vacuum my car. And, you know, I did sweat buckets, but that's because I really get after it. And I think, you know, overall, I would say it went pretty well. Well, that sucked. Get it? Because vacuums. All right. But now it is 8:35 p.m. on Friday, June 3rd. And I told you yesterday that when I was in the parking lot after my mile run that there was an event happening and I'd talk about it. Well, I never got to talk about it. So I'm going to talk about it here. You know, usually in these videos, I do like a little talking portion in the car. And then at the end, I like talk at a desk about like what the future of my channel is going to look like, right? Because everyone cares. Everyone does. It's ubiquitous. People caring about what I do with my life. You can't tell me it's not, because then that would, you know, shatter the reality that I live in, that, you know, everyone cares about me. But because of this event that I had mentioned before, I didn't get to do this big reflection. And then, you know, the high schoolers were still in school, so I couldn't, you know, do my reflection in that parking lot either. So I didn't get to do any reflecting, huh? I got this big mirror in front of me. So now I can do some reflecting, right? Oh, no one's watching? Okay, great. No, let's get into it then. After my mile run, as I was getting into my car, this older gentleman came up to me and said, "Morning, sir." And so I said, "Good morning. How are you?" He's like, "I'm doing good. You here for the event today?" And I was like, "Oh, no, I'm just gonna head out in a couple minutes here." And he was like, "Oh, that's awesome. Great." I think he was happy because, you know, if I wasn't there for the event, he was like, "I'm going to have to kick this guy out." And from what I saw, he didn't have very strong legs. So that was going to be, you know, a tall task, if I say so myself. Okay. I don't know if I've ever mentioned this, but the place where I do my mile run every year is my middle school, Silverado Middle School. And the route I run the mile in is the mile route that I would run in 6th, 7th, and 8th grade. And so when I was pulling in to the Silverado parking lot, I noticed that there were a bunch of chairs and like balloons set up, and it hit me what was happening that day. That was the day, yesterday, of the 8th grade promotion, essentially like a middle school graduation. There is one of those. Yes. It's a big deal, okay? Don't look at me like that. I had a graduation for preschool, so you best believe I had a graduation for 8th grade. That's right. And so this guy was putting out cones to like block out parking so no one would park in that parking except, I'm guessing, faculty, which is fine. The one thing I was not fine with was the fact that he referred to me as sir. Overstepping his boundaries there, okay? It's like, bro, I just was going to this school, you know, a decade ago, okay? So I'm still a kid, all right? I'm clinging to my youth, goddammit. You think I run at my middle school because I like it? No, I'm chasing something. I'm kidding. I actually do like that route. It's actually quite nice. And you know, around 6 or 7 in the morning, it's a good feeling in the air. But yeah, the middle school was having their 8th grade promotion. And believe it or not, when I promoted, because they don't want to call it graduation, you know, that's reserved for people that actually accomplish something. But when I promoted from middle school to high school, I was actually one of the 2 people that gave the promotion speech. They picked 2 students to give a speech to everyone, and it was me and Sarah Turner. And I remember, I think it was like a week or maybe a couple days, or maybe it was the day before promotion, there was also an 8th grade dance. And my mom was like, "You should go." And so I did go. And I'm glad I did, because you can't just have, you know, a whole bakery back there and not put it on display. That's right, your boy's got cake. Okay, that's weird. But no, I'm glad I went, because I stepped out, you know, from the dance room where it was really just 3 people doing whatever the middle school equivalent of dancing is. Middle schoolers don't know how to dance. It's just like moving weirdly. Middle schoolers dancing kind of looks like if an alien came to Earth and then like took over a human's body and they were like trying to figure out how it works. But partway through the 8th grade dance, I excused myself to go get some refreshments. And over in the refreshments area, I'd run into Sarah Turner. Sarah and I both knew who each other was, but we hadn't really talked before. And so when I went to go fetch this water on the rocks, I ran into Sarah and she asked me, "Hey, how do you feel about this promotion speech? I was like, I think I feel good. I was like, how do you feel? And she was like, I'm really nervous. I was like, oh, really? And she's like, yeah, I don't know. I think I'm really nervous about this thing. I was like, oh, you have no reason to worry. You're going to do great. I had full confidence she was going to do great. We had never talked before, but I knew that she was smart, very charismatic. I was like, she's going to kill it. So I was like, you have no reason to worry. Fast forward to promotion day, she gives her speech first. So I got to, kind of see how the crowd is before I go up there and, dazzle those old folks, And by old folks, I mean 23-year-olds, because apparently we call them sir now. What the fuck is with that? I'm aging at a fine pace, okay? Sir. Miss me with that sir shit, okay? But I got to see Sarah go first, and she gave her speech, and she killed it. She got the whole crowd involved. We had a math teacher, Mr. Sampson, and he introduced us the quadratic formula song. And I think if I remember correctly, it goes, negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. And that's how you remember the quadratic formula. You can see I suck at singing, so I just memorized it because I didn't want to put myself through what I just put you through during a test, because I would just be terrible. Imagine trying to focus on a test and you hear my singing voice. That would ruin it. That would ruin everything. You would fail every class you'd ever take. But she sang the quadratic formula song, and the whole crowd jumped in and sang it with her because all the students knew it. And if you have a high school diploma, you could probably jump in too. And like I said, at the 8th grade dance, I was like, I feel good. But then after she broke out that song and got that thunderous applause afterwards, I was nervous. I think selfishly, I was like, fuck. She killed that shit. Because I was like, damn it, I have to follow that now. And I did, and I think it went well. But for the next 4 years, Sarah and I went to the same high school, Wood Creek High School. And it just so happens that every day when I would walk home, Sarah and I were on the same path. And she would always, I don't know how it happened, but she would always be like 20 feet in front of me. I don't know if she knew this, but I was always 20 feet behind her. Which sounds creepier out of context. I was not like always 20 feet. It was just, I did not stalk this girl, okay? But we both had like the same route home. And so I always found that she was pretty efficient in leaving school. I have attachment issues, so I would always like cling to the gate and I couldn't walk away. But finally, when I let go of the gate and I started walking home, I would always find myself like 20, 30 feet behind her. And all 4 years of high school, I always kept telling myself, I'm like, you should go up there. You should go up to Sarah and say, hey, remember you were nervous about the promotion speech? I just want to say, like, you killed it. Like, you had no reason to worry. And like, it went really well, because I never got the chance to tell her that. And I always wanted to, and I never did. So I just want to say, Sarah Turner, you killed that shit. And I told you, you had no reason to worry. You did great. And so yeah, today was the 8th grade promotion at my middle school, and that's why I got kicked out of my fucking parking lot. Are you kidding me? Do you know who I am, motherfucker? So then, as tradition holds, I went to the parking lot of my high school. But then, yeah, what the hell? There were people in that parking lot? What's up with that? And it just so happens that Wood Creek's graduation was actually yesterday too. So 8th grade promotion and Wood Creek's graduation were both on June 2nd. 5 years later, it's the same day. And I didn't want to like record in my high school's parking lot, mostly because there were just a bunch of high schoolers around, but also because, and I kind of hinted at it earlier, it feels weird to be at my high school. Like, I touched on it last year, but like, I truly don't think I belong there. And it's because I don't. What is a 23-year-old doing in a high school's parking lot? There's no reason you need to be there, unless you have like a younger sibling you're picking up or whatever. But if you're just there as a 23-year-old, what's that? And I truly, feel like no attachment. It feels like a completely different school. And I think I talked about it last year, but like, I even refer to it as the high school. I don't call it Wood Creek, because in my head, like, Wood Creek refers to my high school, but that high school is not my high school. So it's the high school now. And every year I wax poetic, or I guess wax phoetic. That's right. It's like poetic, but fake, because it's not actually insightful at all. But every year I wax poetic about time and like how you gotta appreciate the present. And I don't want to do that again, because what am I gonna say? Nothing new. So I should take my own advice and talk about the present. Rather than just keep giving myself the same advice over and over, let's actually take it this year and talk about what I'm doing today. And actually, these middle schoolers and high schoolers, they shouldn't get all, feel all special because I got a graduation coming up too. That's right. In 1 week, on June 10th, I'm recording this, June 3rd. So in June 10th, next Friday, I have my graduation from UC Davis, the graduation ceremony. And actually earlier this week, I got my diploma in the mail. And today I actually got my graduation pics from the guy that took my photos, Josh Moy. Also, I don't like that I said the guy that took my photos because that makes it seem like he's not a friend. Josh is a friend. I really like Josh. He's great. He's not just some guy. He's the guy. He's Josh Moy. Thank you, Josh, for the photos. But yeah, as you saw in this video, I am working. I'm a technical marketing engineer at Intel. And next week, I walk the graduation stage at my college. And I'm done with school forever. And I have been for like 2.5 months. So already, like, my life has changed a lot. I'm not going to go into like all the details, but you can see my identity has changed drastically. And what do I mean by that? Well, I mean, the past 5 years, I've been a student. Actually, my entire life I've been a student, but for the past 5 years I've been a college student, and that's been my entire identity. And it's even been the identity that I've carried online. That's what everyone knows me as, a college student, specifically at UC Davis. And so naturally over the past few years I've gotten the question, well, are you gonna keep making Davis videos from now on? And no, of course not. Why would I do that shit? I didn't make a YouTube channel to make videos about Davis. Selfishly, I made a YouTube channel to make videos about me. And now, being a Davis student isn't really my identity. My identity now is like being an adult and an engineer. And so naturally, that's where my content will, go to. And if we're speaking very candidly, this past year on YouTube has been by far the worst year statistically for my YouTube channel. And it makes sense, honestly, because for the past year, I've only been trying to make like entertaining videos. I haven't really provided any value like I used to. Like I used to do a lot of like advice videos and like tips and like actually showing a student's life, and I just haven't done that because I didn't want to. Really in the past year, the only video that I've made that has like some value is the UC Davis Engineering Roundtable. But outside of that, none of my videos are really intrinsically useful, Which is why, and not in like some bullshit humble way, but like it's so confusing to me when people say my videos help them a lot, like deciding to come to Davis, because I'm like, how? Like I just make stupid jokes about nothing. And this isn't like me being ignorant to like any value I provide. I genuinely don't get like how my videos give you any kind of like insight into this school. I think I just say like very boilerplate advice, and then I make dumb jokes that relate to my life. And this isn't on some humble shit, like I said before. This is truly like, I don't get it. I don't get when people are like, your videos help. I'm like, help what? Turn your brain off? I don't know. But whatever this value is that people say I bring to them in these videos, I don't think it's been that frequent in this past year. And so I've been on YouTube for 5 years now, and I've learned a lot about the platform. I've learned a lot about content creation. And so this next year, I'm really going to be trying to like have a growth approach to this thing. And I'm going for numbers. That's true, folks. I've been, a student for 5 years. I've learned a lot of things. I've been an Intel intern 4 times. I've learned a lot of things. And so now I think, I've learned how to make videos. I've learned how to talk to a camera. I think I have a lot of value to give you. And so in this next year, I'm going to try to provide that, which I haven't done for the past few years. And yeah, try to get these numbers, because that's all that matters in social media. Your statistics. Anyways, to bring this thing back home, to the thing I talk about every year, which is change. My life is going to change a lot in the next year. Even like, starting with this setting, this apartment that I've lived in for the past, 3 years? When I make this video next year, I won't be in this. Actually, I'm going to be out of this apartment by the end of August, because that's when my lease ends. I actually can't like physically be here after August. Well, unless they don't catch me, I could sneak in somehow. So yeah, whoever moves in here, be careful. That's not a ghost. That's just your worst nightmare. Okay. But yeah, I've never been great with change, but I've always said that as much as I hate change, and I think humans hate change, I do welcome it, because I find that whenever you do embrace change, it usually ends up better for you at the end of the road. Whatever that road is, and however long it takes, I find that in the end, it's always better to embrace the change than reject it. So yeah, I think in the next year, my online identity is going to change a lot. I think, physically where I'm at's gonna change a lot. And I think just in general, things are going to change a lot. But I think, one thing that's remained constant the past 4 years is the support I've gotten, which comes from you guys. So I just want to say, I always take this video to say thank you. So I just want to say it again and say thank you. I know I said my numbers weren't great this past year, but that doesn't mean they weren't good. They were. I don't want to devalue anyone that supported me the past year. I see you guys. You guys are dope. Dope as fuck, may I say. That's right. I said it. But thanks. Thank you for watching my YouTube channel. And thank you for letting me, do this with 5 years. Because if I wasn't getting numbers, I wouldn't do this shit. What do you think? I do this because I enjoy it? No, I do it for the clout, goddammit. Anyways, I'll end this video on one sentence and say that, a lot's going to change in this next year. But I welcome it. So, change. Nice to meet you. I'm Gauruv. Left me hanging there, huh? I guess that makes sense from change. It was a dumb joke. It wasn't good. It was terrible. I know over time things change, but the one thing that does remain constant is that if you stop petting Odin, he'll jump up towards you. I think sometimes it's okay if some things don't change.